past severoral months, an 85-year-old woman in Boise has complained that her Social Security checks have not been showing up in her bank account. Well, the Better Business Bureau comes into play, and BBB's Rob Hicken joins us this morning. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Now, the woman told her son that she wasn't getting these checks into her account, and so he went to look into it. What did he find out?
Well, he started looking about last September, October, September, somewhere in there. His mother started complaining that she thought her Medicaid and her Medicare was not being paid properly, and then just recently that her Social Security check hadn't showed up in her bank. And so she called her son and said, "Hey, help me out here." So her son started looking into it. Sure enough, her Social Security check had been deposited in a Salt Lake bank, and scammers were taking money from that account right there in Salt Lake and transferring it to Florida. And so he just discovered unraveled this whole mystery of where all the money went. So he got a hold of some federal officials and talked to them, and some of the state officials, and started to unravel this thing. And what he found out was all it needs is your mother's name, her address, Social Security number, and her just a phone call from some elderly sounding lady to get her Social Security check transferred.
And so that's all that those thieves needed to actually get the account literally moved to another place, be it in Salt Lake City or Florida or wherever else the money might be going, depending on those thieves. So when you think about it, for several months of missing those payments, that's going to add up to quite a bit. Quite a bit of money. That's
quite a bit of money. Right? Quite a bit of money. And the thing is if you're not paying attention to those finances, it can just be small amounts that are taken out. And that's what she was noticing. They weren't taking the whole check. They were just taking a small portion of it, which gave her some money still and kept it flow of cash going. So it was really kind of a cream the top off and take a little bit here and a little bit there.
And not only that, but once they do take a little bit and then move it around, it kind of sounds like one of those shell games, you know, where you see, I don't know, at a baseball game or whatever, because they're moving it around so much. I'm guessing that's part of the ploy too. You don't know where to look for it.
Right, and this was the case in here, is that the money was in her account, she had money in her account, but it was being transferred around so much that she was not able to use all of the money. Now, he did stop a check from happening.
Okay.
He did stop a transfer of about $1,400, was scheduled to go out the day he called the bank down there, and he put a hold on it.
And so how can people keep this from happening to them then? Now that we've heard the story of someone else that it happened to, what are we looking for?
Right. Well, we want to make sure that people just understand, get involved with your parents. You know, the population's aging. Every day there's a whole bunch more 65-year-olds showing up and retirees. Get involved with your parents. Find out their financial status, where they're at, how much money they're spending, what are they spending money on. Just become involved with your parents and make sure that they're there. Second of all, make sure that you are able to access their accounts. If there's, this gentleman put a hold on every transaction until he could actually approve any of the movement of monies or anything like that, which is just a smart thing to do for an elderly person. You don't have to be invasive, you don't have to get in there, "I'm going to run your books, Mom," but you need to have some checks and balances in there because, well, they're getting older and they don't always check their accounts, they don't always go over their bank statements, they just know they have money in there.
And the more involved you are, the more likely more eyes are going to be more likely to catch some of those errors and hopefully prevent it from happening to other people. So
that's correct.
We appreciate your tips this morning. Of course, you can find those at bbb.org or link to it at KIVI-TV.com. Also, while you're at bbb.org, check out a slew of other tips and things that people need to be looking out for.
Scams, you bet.
Thanks so much, Rob, for joining us.